In this example, we're going to take a look at creating duct layouts from scratch. We have our architectural plan that could have been provided by the architects, or again, because we've got the architectural functionality in MEP, we could create this as the mechanical engineer anyway. I have my air handling unit in position. I'm ready to add in ductwork. One of the first checks I might do in my duct preferences, because this is very important in MEP, we've got great flexibility on how the ducts are actually positioned and put in, whether we have various offsets, how we work the horizontal and vertical. We also have options for lining and insulation, our vanes and flanges, and our flexi ducts. But more importantly, what parts are we using? In this case, I'm using DW144 compliant UK specification, which is out of the box available from the library. And how my connections, well, I'll use takeoffs or tees. So let's get started. I can pick my air handling unit and hit on the plus, and it'll immediately start to add in my supply medium pressure duct. It's detected that it's 1050 width by 1050 height. Because I've got predetermined elevations in there, I could say, well, let's swap it out immediately to a high level, and it adds my duct in. I could have a concern about my actual elbow radius in here and might want to swap it out. So rather than use a medium radius, let's take this to a square flanged. And again, we could drop this across. We can take this across and we can add a transition in, so we could actually drop this down, say to a 500 by 500 duct. The transition will automatically be added in from MEP. If not, it'll actually prompt for a component to use from the library to actually add that transition in. I can change the elevation on the fly by just right and click and actually change my elevation. So I could say, rather than 3500, let's just drop this down to 3000. Again, you can see my transition marker, and that will automatically be added in. And it's a case of simply routing on the screen. Let's take a look at this part over here, and let's take a look at it in the 3D view. In any of the views, we can select the part, and we can go into MV Part Modify. I could say, well, in this instance, I want to change it back to a long radius elbow, and hit OK. Because MEP has a level of intelligence, if I add another duct to this, it'll go back and add the T automatically in, because it has the understanding of the relationships between the objects. Let's look at this area down here. We've got a duct that's crossing in against the wall. Again, we might want to change the actual height here, so we can simply click on the object and specify a new height. Say we could bring this up to 3 meters. All ducts along that run will automatically be adjusted. So let's go back in and take a look at the wall. I'm going to add a simple opening in here, so I'm going to make use of my architectural components in here. If I put my properties on, I can insert an opening. Again, the opening's in the wrong position. The space diagram's automatically being updated, although I have them on a frozen layer. Let's select these components in here, right click and edit an elevation. Very quickly we can swap it out to an elevation view, so I can get the opening in the exact position that I actually want to get it in. I've got many components in the library I could add in my fire dampers or fire cutoffs in here as well, but I'm simply just going to tie it in against the actual ductwork, maybe for a bit of a gap for working, and quit out back to my view. So very easily we can add ducts in, modify the duct positions and elevations, but work with the architectural components in the background. But what happens if we want to add some diffusers in here? We'll simply go over to our tool palette and add a diffuser. We would pick the component that we want from the library, and again, if one's not available, we can simply create it. Let's pick the default elevation that we want to add it in against. So I'm going to keep this as a 600 by 600 and get the first position. By simply using the control key, I can swap out to the center of the duct or diffuser and get the position. I can use my AutoCAD tools to simply interact, or I can use my AEC Modify tools to actually create various duct layouts in here, or diffuser layouts. Again, we can simply interact on the screen or copy the data out. Let's copy out a few positions. So this gives me a good bit of flexibility here. So I can add on the plus on my duct and start working and tying in back as part of my design. Again, we can add these components in by simply connecting and adding to this. Once it finds a run that it needs to connect to, you can use your snap tools and it will provide the various options. It might provide 2 or 3 solutions that you want to connect to. Let's fill this out a bit further. Okay, I've filled in a few more positions here. So I have two ducts not quite lined up. Again, we can take off in here, and we can automatically connect to this duct using our snap transition tools. Again, you can see that it's actually adjusted to make an angle to make these ducts actually connect in here. So with great flexibility in AutoCAD MEP, I can very easily connect various ducts and systems, and it'll prompt for the actual transitions or T's that need to be added in. Even if there's a custom layout to be made, AutoCAD MEP will automatically generate it. So I have great confidence that whilst I'm working in plan, that I know that my 3D components are being added and created in the background. Plus, added to that, if I actually take a look at my Home tab, we can add in our various section line information. So I take a point at any part of the building, I can create a quick section. We can generate the section very quickly, or we can use it, integrate it as part of the project navigator. I'm going to generate a 2D section based on these objects and give it a position or pick the point. So we'll see that our ductwork and our positions are automatically added in. Let's take a look. If we needed to move this duct position, we could simply go back to our section, refresh the view, and it will automatically be updated in the background. So I have great confidence that not only my plans are being correct as part of the 3D model, but I'm having sections and elevations that are being updated in the background.